For any local business, let's be honest, getting found online isn't just important, it's everything. But what if I told you there's a step-by-step system to go from basically invisible to #1 in your city? Well, today, we're opening up that exact playbook.
You know, I absolutely love this old SEO joke because it's just so painfully true. It perfectly nails the brutal reality of local search. I mean, if you're not in one of those top spots, you might as well not exist. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is scrolling to page 2 to find you.
And this chart right here shows you exactly why. The data is just crystal clear. When someone in your town searches for a service you offer, almost 2/3 of all the clicks, 65%, go to those top 3 businesses on the map. That's the whole ballgame. If you're ranked #4, you might as well be on page 10. The only thing that matters is cracking that top 3.
So how in the world does Google decide who gets those coveted spots? Well, it really just boils down to 3 big things. I want you to think of them like 3 empty glasses you need to fill up. The first one is proximity, how close the customer is to your business. You can't really control that one. But the other 2, that's where we win. Relevance, which is proving you actually do what you say you do, and authority, which is proving you're a trusted, legit business. We can fill those 2 glasses to overflow.
All right, so here's our game plan for local domination. First, we're going to figure out exactly where you stand right now. Then, we'll build a rock-solid foundation, fire up a growth engine, make one key strategic move, and then, finally, put it all together to own your market. Okay, step 1. The most important step in any system that actually works is to stop guessing and start measuring. So many people just throw content at the wall hoping something sticks. We're not going to do that. We're going to start with a precise diagnostic that tells us exactly what to do next.
This right here is a local rank map. What it does is it checks your Google ranking from 169 different spots all across your service area. Green means you're in the top 3. That's the money zone. You're getting calls. Yellow means you're close, but you're still basically invisible. And red? Red means Google doesn't even think you offer that service there. This map, this is our crystal ball.
And from that entire map, we pull one single number that is the most important metric of all, your top 3%. This is simply the percentage of your city where you're showing up in those green top 3 spots. This one number is going to dictate our entire content strategy. If you get this right, you can see results in weeks, not years. So now that we have our data, our starting point, we can get to work on the foundation. And honestly, this is where most of your competitors are just completely failing. They're making a few huge but very fixable mistakes that are keeping them buried in the search results.
Let's talk about the 3 biggest mistakes people make with their Google business profile. First, they only use one business category when Google lets you pick up to 10. Each one of those is another thing you can rank for. Second, they list like 3 services when you should have 20, 30 or more to really signal your expertise. And third, they just leave huge sections blank. A full, complete profile screams to Google that you're an active, real business.
But your Google business profile is only half the story. See, Google is like a detective. It cross-references everything with your website, looking for what we call consistency signals. Your website's title and main heading have to include your main service and your city. You need to embed a Google map. Your address and phone number have to match your profile. Exactly. All these little things prove to Google that it's all one cohesive, legitimate business.
Okay, the foundation is set. It's solid. Now it's time to build the engine. This is how we're going to actively fill up those relevance and authority glasses with super targeted content and the right kind of links.
The secret sauce here is a website structure we call the Core 30. And the reason it's so powerful is because it perfectly mirrors your Google business profile. So let's say you're a plumber. Your homepage is the main hub. That page links out to your main category pages like drain cleaning or water heaters. And then each of those pages links down to really specific service pages like clogged sink repair or tankless water heater installation. This super clear hierarchy proves your expertise to Google beyond a shadow of a doubt.
But look, even the best content in the world isn't enough on its own. You need authority. And authority comes from links, but you need 2 very specific types. First are what I call not AI slop links. These are links from other real websites that prove your content is high quality, useful stuff, and not just some generic junk spit out by AI. Second, you absolutely need local authority links. These are links from places like your local chamber of commerce or maybe a little league team you sponsor. These prove you're a real trusted part of the actual community.
So, you've built the foundation. You've built the engine. Now we get to the most important decision in this entire playbook, a strategic choice that is driven entirely by the data we got from your rank map. No guessing.
Let me show you what I mean with a real-world example.
There was a plumber in Plano, Texas, and he was really struggling. His average rank across the city was 17th, which is, basically invisible. His rank map was just a sea of red with this tiny little green dot right over his office. He was getting almost 0 calls from Google.
So he implemented this exact system we're talking about. He fixed his foundation, he built out his core 30, got the right links, and then he made that crucial data-driven pivot. And the result? Over $50,000 in new revenue in the very next month. I'm not kidding. The results can be that fast and that dramatic when you just follow the playbook.
So this brings us to the pivot point, the most important question. What is the very next piece of content you build? Do you build content to prove you're an expert, or do you build content to prove how far your service area reaches? If you make the wrong choice here, you could waste months of time and money. But here's the beautiful part. You don't have to guess. The decision is made for you by your top 3% metric. It's a simple rule. If your percentage of green on that map is below a certain threshold, say less than 15%, it means Google doesn't fully trust your expertise yet. So your job is to build topical content, like detailed FAQ pages that prove you know your stuff. But if you're above that threshold, Google already sees you as an expert. Your goal now is to expand your reach, and you do that by building geographic content, like pages for specific neighborhoods or suburbs you serve.
Now, this isn't a one-and-done fix. The final piece of the puzzle is to turn this entire playbook into a repeatable system, a system that doesn't just get you to the top, but keeps you there for good.
And this is what we call the growth flywheel. It's so simple. Every single month, you run your rank map. You check your top 3% metric, you build the correct type of content, either topical or geographic, you get the right links to support that new content, and then you repeat the cycle. It's a simple, data-driven loop that just creates unstoppable momentum over time.
The truth is, most of your local competitors are doing the absolute bare minimum. They probably filled out their profile once a few years ago and just called it a day. They aren't just playing the game badly, most of them don't even know there's a game to be played. But you now have the insider's playbook. So the only question left is, are you ready to start